Well, this has been a long time coming. We finally got a date for these pigs and it's time to take them to the processor. We really need to improve how we load these pigs because some of it looks like it was easy goings, but it wasn't. They would not go up that ramp. Where the pigs are is way far away from the corrals where we're parked, so we had to make a teardrop out of a hog panel and then walk them up, which is pretty easy. Until about here, this was not easy. I think the smaller one would have gone up the ramp, but her mom was freaking out, so it got them both to freak out. We finally got them in there though, and we took them to a new processor about an hour away, so hopefully this is a good one. We also got the lambs back from the processor close to us. We have 2 lambs worth. They were about 35 pounds of processed meat at the end. We got a box of ground lamb, which we've already tried and it's really good. And then we got our cuts, so the ribs, chops, leg of lamb. You notice some of it's really small, but lamb is really rich, so you don't need that much anyway. So it works out, but you'll never find lamb at the grocery store cheaper than we got ours for. Now, despite us taking 2 pigs to the processor, we still have 16 pigs. We drive all the way up to Munster, which is close to Oklahoma, to get our feed. It's better nutrition than the feed store close to us can offer, and it's cheaper. Here we are on the scale, getting an empty weight. Then we drive across the road to the feed silos and get filled with about 2 tons of feed. Then we drive back to the scales and get a full weight. We're a little late doing this, but we wanted to get some ryegrass down just to keep the soil where it is and to keep it from running downhill from, rain or something. We haven't had much rain, so I don't know why we're that worried. But hey, maybe it'll help the Bermuda come back up in the spring, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get more rain. This spot here is real slick when it's wet too, so we wanted to try to get grass down. It's where they buried the electrical lines in the septic, so it's been disturbed a lot. This is about a week later back in the pig pens, actually outside of the pig pens in our grazing area, and the grass has already started to come up in the damper spots. But again, we haven't had a whole lot of rain, so a lot of it hasn't germinated yet. And just to show you, this is where those 2 pigs that left for the processor used to live. This is probably a week and a half after they left. This is where the babies lived until about a month prior to me filming this right here. So it's recovered a lot. This is where they currently live. It looks a little better in real life, but it looks really barren right there. We've got to get them moved on a regular basis. This is their grazing area. The babies get to come out during the day, and the adult groups can come out at nighttime on different days. It isn't hit real hard, so there's not a lot of damage. A lot of what you're seeing here is goat weed, and it's worthless, but there is Bermuda grass underneath. In addition to grass and grain, the pigs also get stuff from the garden, like some of the spaghetti squash or leftover brownies, not from the garden. And our old neighbor Floyd seems to think that if we give them a crap ton of food, that they'll grow full size in 3 months. This is not the case. These pigs are not meant to grow that fast. They're not a commercial breed. If you give them more than they need, they end up just pooping it out. Our pigs are fed 4 pounds of feed a day at the age of 4 months up to 10 months, when they should be 250 pounds and ready to be processed. And if you don't think that's enough, here's Lily. She's huge. This is another problem with too much grain. These boys go to the grain bin and hit the little door and get diarrhea from eating all the little pellets that fall out, 3 pellets at a time. So I'm giving them hay. Actually, this is wheat straw, but they enjoy it. But hopefully this will give him a little more fiber in his diet so it's not so runny. I guess it's about once a season when I clean the chicken coop out. I had intended on doing the deep litter method and it ain't working. So I lock them all out of the coop. That way I can have the door open and scoop all of their poop into the dump cart. And where would I be without my little helpers? This past summer, I had 2 chickens go missing. And it smelled for a while. It smelled like a dead rat or something. And I looked everywhere for it. And right here as I was cleaning, I found one of the missing chickens. This chicken coop doesn't have a real bad fly problem, especially this time of year, but I decided to put diatomaceous earth down just in case they wanted to dust in here or anything. It can only help them. Enjoy the clean while it lasts. I love all those Pinterest pictures that show everything so glistening clean. It's not realistic.
Blue. They're swimming.
This past summer, I bought straight run chicks because that's all they offered at the place I bought them from. And I ended up with more roosters than hens, which happens when you buy a straight run. So I had to get rid of them. They're really stressful on the hens. They start just overbreeding them and pulling feathers out and starting to hurt them. And then the roosters are all fighting each other for dominance. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you this, but this is where I dispatch the chickens. These are the parts that I keep, the legs, thighs, and breasts. The rest of it goes to the vultures and coyotes, and that is not being wasteful. I didn't need the carcasses for broth because I have enough broth. It's just me and my husband 99% of the time. Our Thanksgiving started at about 5 a.m. this morning. We got to the farm when the sun was coming up, but we still had to make sure everybody was taken care of before we left for our festivities. It doesn't happen that often that we had to feed and leave, but on those days, obviously, they can't get out and graze all day because we can't keep an eye on them. You never know when people have dogs running around that would want to hurt them. So I give them hay on those days so it takes them a little longer to eat it. Normally we give them alfalfa pellets and they can finish that fast. This just gives them something to do. We loaded up everything and went to Cowboy Stadium to celebrate Thanksgiving in the parking lot.
Of our 5-time world champion Dallas Cowboys. We should win by at least 21 points.
Oh yeah.
Cowboys on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cowboys! 1, 2, 3. Cowboys!
If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Sundays and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one.